morning. By the end of this video we will create this dashboard which is responsive, as you can see here. We will see how we used Angular and ng-zorro in order to display this dashboard. Okay, so let's get started. Don't forget to subscribe and make a thumbs up. So in order to create an Angular project, we should install Angular Cli, but we need to install Node.js and npm on our PCs in order to use the command npm. So I will leave to you this link that describes the steps of the installation of Node and npm. Okay, once we have successfully installed Node.js and npm, we go to our directory in which we will create our Angular project and type command cmd here. Then the command prompt will be opened in the directory that we are working on. Okay, we should first install Angular Cli using this command that I will put it in the description of this video. Okay, using this command, Angular Cli will be installed in our PC. Okay, the G is for global installation. Once we finish the installation of the Angular Cli, we should obtain the following message, which says that found 0 vulnerabilities. This way we are sure that Angular Cli is correctly installed in our machine. Now, as we have Angular Cli is installed in our machine, we execute the following command to create a new project. ng-new and the name of our project. For example, for me, I will call it Angular Dashboard. Okay, then type enter. Here we obtain some questions. For routing, we say yes. For example, we choose CSS. Then we wait about 3 to 5 minutes, or maybe less than this. Then we will get our project created. Okay, after some time we should get this message which indicates that the project is created successfully. Then we enter into our project cd Angular Dashboard. Then we open the project with the vscode. We type code dot. This way our project will be opened by vscode. Okay, I will leave the link of the installation of vscode in the description. Okay, as we can see here, we have our application folder which will contain our components. We have default HTML code and CSS and TypeScript, etc. We can open the terminal here and type ng-zorro. Okay, this way our project will be run, and we can see its interface. Okay, its initial interface. we got this message which indicates that that our project is compiled successfully. We can open the interface of our project by typing control and click on the link. You can see here that this page, which is the default page for an initialized Angular project. Okay, so as I said in the description, we are going to use ng-zorro, which is a UI component library based on Ant design that contains a lot of awesome components that we are going to use in our project. Okay, so in order to use ng-zorro in our project, we should after the creation of the project and changing the directory and choosing the directory of our project, we should add this command. Okay, as the documentation says. Okay, we should go to our project. In the terminal, we should enter ng-add ng-zorro-antd. Okay, we will wait a little bit. We say yes. Now it says that it asks us to whether we want to enable icon dynamic loading. We say yes. Set up a custom file. Yes. We can choose any option here. Enter. I will use a blank project. We can choose side menu. If we choose side menu, the output of this command will create for us a project that contains a side menu. But I want to use only a blank project. Okay. At first, we wait until all the packages are installed. We can see here that all the packages are successfully installed. We are in the master branch. We can choose another branch. We can put git checkout -b ng-zorro init. Okay. Okay. We should now we are in our new branch. We add all files, then we commit our work. Okay, -m initialization of ng-zorro dashboard project. Okay, all our files are added into our branch. Okay, now if you can we can see the output of our project in the node side. It is compiled successfully. Now we can go to the address of our project. It is here. Okay, now we can see that that we have a blank project that contains only the icon and the name of ng-zorro and a message that says that we have arrived. Okay, so once we created our project and initialized it, and now we will take a look at ng-zorro that we are going to use. Here is the ng-zorro. Let's take a look at its definition. It is a UI component library based on ng design, and it contains a lot of awesome components. The first component that we are going to use is a layout. Okay, here are the way that we can use the layout of ng-zorro in our project. We should import nz layout module. In addition to that, we use an example. We can use some examples from here. For example, for this for our project, we will try to use this template. Okay, let's try it online using StackBlitz, which is a framework that is executed online and that give us an opportunity to take a look at our component online. Okay, let's wait for it to load, and we can see here the code of the layout. Okay, test. So now here is our component, which is a complete layout. For the sake of simplicity, we'll try to use only one header and the content layout. Okay, and so we'll delete all the other components. Okay, or all the other sub components. Okay, for example, for option 1 until option 3, and for the sub nav, we will try to delete it. Okay, for example, if we delete option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4, we delete this list. Okay, and then we can delete all the other two sub nav. Okay, here is the sub nav that which has the name of sub nav side menu. Okay, so we can for example delete this nz side nav. Okay, so when we do that, we got a simple layout which contains just one header plus the content plus this list that contains home list app. Okay, so now as we saw an example of the layout component, we click here. We see here how to check for how to search for component, we click on components, then we type layout here, for example, and here we have our layout component. We copy the import sentence, and then we paste it in the app module. Okay, we import it in our project. Okay, then we go to our template that we want to use. For example, we click here. How we can create a component that contains this template. Okay, we just go to the template here, and in the bottom of it, we just click on this. Okay, and this will generate a command that automatically add the component into our project. Okay, the component layout then will be add automatically. Okay, we just we need just to add the name of the component. Okay, so the name that we will use is global layout, for example. Okay, then we can see that a new component is automatically added to our project. Okay, we can see here the header, the sidebar, etc., and the breadcrumb, and finally the content. We can delete the breadcrumb. We don't need it for now. We can also delete the side navigation, the sider that we don't need. Also we can see here that we have the content and the nav code. Okay, we format our code so it will be more organized. This way we have the simple layout. Okay, that contain only the header and the content. Okay, now we have to do some other work in the app module. In fact, we can see here that the code contains NZ menu, so we have to add this NZ menu to our module. Okay, how we can do this? We just type in Google NZ module. Okay, NZ menu. Okay, then we will get the syntax of importation of this module. Okay, the menu here, we just import NZ menu here. We go here to app module, we just type this module NZ menu. Okay, then we copy this module and we import it here. Okay, now why not we take a look at our project? But in order to see our component, we have to add it into the app component.html. Okay, this is done by using the selector of the component. Okay, so we just copy the selector, then we go to app.html. We can click like this. We just delete the other part. Then we go to the interface of our project. We can see here that we have the content plus the navigation, but there is some problem here, because I want to that the content take all this place. Okay, we can do that using by deleting the NZ layout here. Okay, so here we have the content takes all the place. Okay, once we have created our layout, we personalize it and we type here about us and statics and dashboard in the header. So we can see here the result of our interface. It contains my personal logo. In addition to that, we have statics, dashboard, etc. Okay. In fact, I have added the personal brand image, so it appears here. Okay, that's for the layout. Now we will add the grid component to our project, but first I created this diagram to describe how our charts later will be displayed. Okay, using the properties of the ng-zorro grid component. Okay, the ng-zorro grid component is based on the ng-row, ng-column, and ng-span. Okay, ng-span is how much of the screen will be taken by this element. Okay, that will be added inside the selector of the grid sub element. Okay, 24 means that it will take all the place. 12 will take only the half of the place, and 12 the half of the place. This for these terms NZXS, NZSM, NZXL are used to for responsivity of our layout. Okay, that means that for the X large screens we have this one will take the half of the half area, but in the medium or small screens it will take all the parts. Okay, the same for this bar chart. We take the half part for the X large, and all the part for the X small and medium. Okay, for the small and medium screens, they are aligned vertically. Okay, as I said, I will repeat one more time how to go to the directory of one component. Just type component and type its name. It will appear to you. Okay, we click on grid here, then we go to an example. We open it in Stack Blitz. Okay, for example, we will go directly to the responsive part, the responsive example. Okay, we wait a little bit until it appears to us. Let's wait a little bit. We can see here that we have 3 columns here. Okay, so this two one this the first one, we'll call it call one, for example. This one call 2, and this one call 3. Okay, you can see here that that they are displayed, the display of the column are modified corresponding to the size of the screen. Okay, now we will use these terms in order to create our grid to so that it take the format that we represented here. Okay, we can see here that we have 3 columns here. Okay, now after looking at one example, we go to the ng-zorro grid component. Okay, and I go to the example that I have showed now. I copy the command that create that component. Okay, like this. Now it is copied, and I passed it inside my project. Okay, and as usual we have to give a name to our component. Okay, we can just type grid component. Wait a little bit, then we can see that one new component is added. Okay, and this is the HTML of the component. So I used the same APIs of the example, and I modified the HTML code. It's quite simple. It contains now only 3 words: chart 1, chart 2, and chart 3. And the text are aligned center, and as I explained, the values I use the APIs nzpen and nzxs and nzsm and nzxl for displaying how these words are displayed in our interface, and the responsivity using APIs nzxs, nzsm, and nzxl. Now we can see the output of our project. Here the interface, we have chart 1, chart 2, chart 3 for the large screens. Now we are going to replace chart 1, chart 2, chart 3, these 3 words by cards that will be the containers of our charts that we are going to create. Okay, so in order to do that, we just go to the ng-zorro website that I have put its link in the description. We just go to components. Okay, and we type card. Okay, the component card we got, we click on it. It will give us the details of the configuration of the card component inside our project. Okay, we can see here that we can choose a lot of examples as a template for our cards, but we can go below. Okay, this one is suitable, I think, for our project. Okay, so in order to add to simulate this component in Stack Blitz, we just click on this icon. We wait a little bit, okay, until it complete charging. Now after the charging is complete, we can see here the card and its code here. Okay, we can see here that our card contains one image, one avatar, a title, a description, and three icons below. We can just modify this card to make it similar to our chart that we will create, okay, for our Angular project. We can start by for example modifying this icon, okay, this avatar. We don't need this avatar. We can just go here in Google and type line chart icon png and just select one of them and copy its address, okay. We just paste the address instead of the address of this avatar, okay. We can see here after the compiling is finished that the icon of the avatar is changed and we have a line chart avatar here, okay. We can also replace this image. For example, we go here and choose one line chart image and copy its address like we did for the avatar, but now we go to the source of this image and change it and put the line chart address instead of it, okay. We wait a little bit until the compiling is finished and we get a card that contains the image and an avatar of the line chart plus the title and the description. We can modify the title and description now. We just put line chart card and line chart card description. Just type line chart card description here, okay. We just wait a little bit and copy here line chart description. This will be awesome. In addition to that, we don't need these icons for now, so we can just delete them. Here we have the settings and edit and ellipsis icons. We can just delete them like this in order to get a simple line chart card, okay. So now, in order to use this example in our project, we just go to the configuration steps that are described in the ng-zorro website, okay. We just have to import ng-card module in our project. We just go to the app.module.typescript and we just type and import ng-card module, okay. After that, we just have to add it here, okay. In module, just import it, okay. Now we go below to our card example that we have used and modified. We just copy the command that generate the component, okay. So here we have just to choose a custom name, okay. We just have to create a folder that is named cards, okay, because we have three cards, because we have three charts, so we have three cards, so we will create a folder and put the three cards inside this folder, okay. We type card slash the name of the card. We can name it line chart card, okay. Line chart card. We just type enter and we wait until the component is ready. Now as we can see here, after the component is already created, we have a directory is created which is called cards, and inside of it one component is created which is a line chart card. Okay, we of course have some issues that is expected. In fact, we need to import another modules. For example, here ng-avatar is not known element. Okay, we have to just go to Google and we just try to put here in the search. Here we type just avatars. Okay, so we just have to use this syntax and import the ng-avatar inside our app module.ts. Okay, just import it here, and we just have to import it here. Okay, okay, here we go. We have now the HTML code has no errors anymore. Okay, and so we have created one line chart card component that we are going to use inside the grid, but we have to insert two other cards, one for the donut chart and one for the bar chart. Okay, as we have said, we will create three cards, and inside the three cards we will insert three different charts, which are line chart, donut chart and bar chart. Okay, once our component is added and the syntax errors are resolved, we can now copy the code that we have customized here and paste it inside our project. Okay, inside the HTML of the card that we have created, like this. Okay, with some modifications, so that the card will be in the middle of the grid. Okay, then we have the details here of the chart that are similar to the code that we have customized here. Okay, we can test this card by looking at its selector and copying it and putting it somewhere inside our grid component. Okay, in fact, we have put it in the first column. We have here the upline chart card, and inside the other two columns we just put strings, bar chart and donut chart. Okay, we have to remember that the grid component itself, it is we can find him here. In the global, okay, here in the global layout. Okay, let me see with you. We have the grid component in the layout component, and finally the layout component itself is called inside the app.component.html. Okay, this way we have all the card and the layout and the grid are called one call each other, so that we have the final interface. When we did all these modifications, we can see our dashboard like this. This is the image and the description and the title, and here are the two strings that will be changed themselves by two other cards. Okay. Once we have created our line chart card, we create the two other cards for the donut and bar chart. Okay, we just start by pasting the command that creates a donut chart card inside the cards folder. Okay, like we did for the line chart. Okay, we just type enter here, but we have to pay attention of the name of the component. Okay, just we can see here that we have two directories, one for the donut chart card and one for the line chart card, and finally we create the last card for the bar chart. Okay, we just passed this command. I will leave it in the description as all the other commands and links. We just run this command. We can see here that we will get a bar chart component. Okay, what we are going to do here is just to copy and paste the code of the line chart HTML card and post it inside the HTML code of the donut chart and the bar chart. Okay, when save or unsave them. Okay, now we can just put the bar selectors inside the grid component instead of the bar chart string. Here we just put the bar chart selector and the donut chart selector. Okay, the donut chart selector here. Okay, we can see here now for the output of our project, we can see here that this one didn't change because we didn't pass the code of the line chart inside the bar chart HTML code. We just have to paste it. Let's copy it. And paste it in the HTML here. Okay, and we can see here wait a little bit. Description. Maybe you have to save. You have to save them. And yes, we have here the three cards are created. We can check the responsibility of our project. We can see here that our interface is responsive as always. Now we are going to modify the codes of the line of the donut chart and the bar chart by modifying the name and the description and the icon and the image so that they will represent images of donut and line chart and bar chart. Now we have modified the bar chart component and the donut chart component, the cards component, of course. We modified the avatar and the image. of the cards for these two components, and we have created a dashboard that contains cards with just images inside the cards that will be replaced by real chart components, okay, using ng2 charts and chartjs libraries. The two libraries that we should install are ng2 chart and chartjs. As we can see here, we should use these two commands, okay. Wait for the installation of chartjs. We have to install now the ng2 chart library, okay. We just type this command, press enter, okay. It's okay now. We have the two libraries are installed in our project. We just have to use this command to fix issues after the installation that could be created or occurred during the installation of the two libraries. Now, after finishing the installation of libraries of the charts, and after finishing using the commands of fixing and updating, and now it's time for testing our project and running it. We just use the command ng-serve. Okay, now it's compiled successfully, and we can see here the dashboard is displayed successfully, and the installation of libraries didn't make bugs in our project. That's okay now. So it's time for the installation of the components of the charts, okay. In order to do that, we just have to use the commands of generating of components. We just type these three commands, okay. Okay, now the bar chart is created in the charts folder. You have to create also a component donut chart in the same folder. Okay, it's created. We can see here the bar chart plus the donut chart inside charts directory. And finally, we just type this final command. The line chart also will be added, as we can see here. Once we have created our charts components, once we have created our components of charts, let's take a look at some examples in the npm.js website. I will put it in the description of the video. In this website, we have instructions of the how to install the ng2 charts, etc. In addition to that, we have some examples. Okay, so the components that we are creating will contain codes from these examples. Okay, we can just test one of them. For example, the bar chart here on Stack Blitz. We can see here an example of bar chart after it is compiled successfully. We can see here the page and the code of this example. is here. Okay, in the HTML we have this elements, and in the TypeScript we have this this elements. Okay, app.component.ts. We have the data, the labels, etc., the data set, and the responsivity. Okay, so this is how we can create a bar chart inside our project. The same for other components. We just leave this page. The same is for the line chart and the donut chart that we are going to use. In order to test them separately, we can click on the links of these examples, and we can play with them by modifying some numbers and some criteria, etc., to understand better how they are working. Okay, so here in the bar chart component, in the HTML part, I pasted the code that was presented in the example, and inside the TypeScript also the TypeScript that was presented in the example. So we can see here that we have a bar chart that contains these details. In fact, I will add some CSS to this code, and I will leave the link of the code in the description. Okay. In addition to that, we have increased the width and the height of the card. As we can see here, we added 300 pixel for the width and the height 300 pixel. So when we did that, we can see that our bar chart is well presented in our card. Okay. Now for the donut chart, we do the same things that we have done for the bar chart. Okay, we just look for an example here of the donut chart inside the npmjs.com website, which contains ng2 charts examples. So we can see here in this example that we have here the HTML code and the CSS that contains nothing. But here we have the canvas plus the binding of the details of the chart, plus options, legend, etc. And the TypeScript contains this specifications plus the values. Here we have static values and 3 data. Okay. So we just copy and paste the code and modify it in order to get a simple donut chart. We just here paste the code and modify it. We can see here that we have made some modifications of the code. The option it is not responsive. The legend is true. That means that it is displayed. Cut out percent 70%. The label here we have we have put some examples. Do pending to do, the data, the type, which is donut, and the color that I have chosen. And in addition to that, I have made the necessary modifications of the donut chart card. As we can see here, I modified the width and the height, and in addition to that, instead of the image, and I have put the selector of the donut chart. Okay. After I did that, the project is recompiled successfully, and it is displayed here, the bar chart and donut chart. Now we do the same for the line chart. We just click on the link of this example and wait until it is compiled. So we can see here an example of the line chart, and we go like always to the source code of this example. It is presented here inside the HTML. We just copy this HTML code plus the TypeScript code, which contains the APIs for the data and the dataset, etc. Okay. We copy this codes inside our project, inside the line chart component here, HTML. We copy the code and customize it, and in addition to that we do the same for the TypeScript. We code the code of the TypeScript, and we just modify the line chart card component, the HTML. We just modify the width and the height and the margin, plus we the replace of the image with the selector of the line chart, okay, component. Okay, we can see here, after doing all these modifications and saving it, we can see that our project is containing now all the charts inside their cards, and it is responsive, as we can see here. Now it is all done for this video. We created a simple dashboard, which is not a professional one. It's just a simple one for teaching purpose. We tried to show you how to deal with the ng-zorro components. So I hope that you have enjoyed the watching of this video. I hope that you will follow me and subscribe to my channel, because the work will continue after this video. We will work on the creation of an application, mobile application. In addition to that, we will try to create a backend of this example, plus the deployment of it, and a lot of other work that will be done in the future. So don't forget to subscribe and share and comment on this video, and to finish, don't forget the code is below, and if you have any question, please let me know.